Well, hi there everyone, my name's Sam. Now Jo, my wife and I have just moved up here to the farm in Six Ashes to take over from Dad. He had an accident last year and broke his leg, and he's been struggling to keep up with things since then, so it seemed like the right time to come and take over. They moved out of the house to a place up the road so Jo and I could move into the farmhouse, and we've just about got ourselves settled. Now I'll give you a tour of the farm in a few minutes, but before I do that, let me give you a bit of history. Now, Robert Harper previously owned Ford Lane Farm, as it was known back then, and farmed the land successfully for nearly 30 years. He grew the farm in the 70s and the early 80s and became one of the biggest landowners in Six Ashes. But as time went by and Robert grew older, he started to sell off some of his land until he had just one field left. And when his wife passed away, and with no children to leave the farm to, Old Man Harper decided to sell the farm in October 1998. A price was agreed in early 99, and the farm was sold to a Derek Saunders, my father. We moved into the farm in the spring of 99. I was aged just 12, and from that point on the farm became known as Saunders Farm. Now the farm had seen better days and was quite run down, so there was a lot of work to do to get things in order. It was a very busy but exciting time for me, and I helped Dad out as much as I could. First, we had to get rid of a lot of the old junk and scrap from the sheds. We sold off some of the old vehicles, including the combine. We concreted the old yard to give us some more space. And a couple of years later, Dad expanded the farm into the grass field by the house, adding new machinery sheds, fertiliser and seed storage. We extended the grain storage, more than doubling its size. And finally, we updated the garden, adding 2 extra greenhouses and an apple tree for Mum. Our Dad planted quite a few trees and added quite a lot of lights around the farm to make it look nice, and that's pretty much how the farm remains to this day. So why don't we go take a look around. So here we are, Saunders Farm. There's the old sign. Dad had that put up a long time ago. He wanted to stick it out on the road, but it just stuck out into the lane too much, and he ended up putting it in here just at the entrance to the yard really. So this was the old grass field next to the house that he had converted. Some of it's been concreted out. He left the patch in the middle and put some trees in. So we've got the fertiliser storage in a little shed just off to the side here. Got liquid and dry fertiliser. We've got the machine shed as well. We tend to keep the sprayer and the fertiliser spreader and the drill in here. One of the tractors overnight. And then we've got another shed and storage for seed and for the herbicide as well. And then the main machine shed just at the top here. That was kind of one of the first things that went in when he cleared this bit of land out. Got a couple of New Holland tractors. We've got a T6 and a 7 Series. Got a set of disc harrows there and a good old cultivator. Got the TDK trailer as well. I'm looking to swap that out probably this year, just to try and get something a bit bigger. I think we're going to try and do quite a few contracts if we can. And there's the old Fen tractor. That was part of the equipment that Old Man Harper had. Still going strong, 20 odd years on. It was pretty much brand new, I think, when Dad got it. It wasn't that old, and it's still going strong to this day. It's a bit outdated really, I suppose, but we use it for doing some of the spraying and the fertiliser work and some of the lighter work, but it's still in good order. It's been at the workshop for an oil change and new filter and everything, but that's ready to go now. Kept the old trailer as well. We just used that for putting a bit of muck around for the greenhouses. And then these are the 2 new greenhouses that we added at the top of the garden. Got another one for lettuce and cabbages, got one for tomatoes over here. So it's very likely that Mum will still come down and do a bit of work in these, but I know that Joe's quite keen on a bit of gardening and everything, so I'm sure she'll keep them in good order. Now that's a new greenhouse there. There was one in here originally, but we replaced it when we put these other ones in because the other one was falling apart really. And then the old apple tree. Now that was one of the first things that Mum planted when she was here. And then Dad put the hedge round and put the path in and everything and the bench, and I think when Mum's out here working during the summer she likes to go and sit underneath there and have a cold glass or something. So the little path that leads just down through here and then back to the back of the house really. We had all these lights put in as well, so it's quite nice in the evening when that's lit up. It's a nice summer's evening, you can go for a little wander around the garden and everything, it's really pleasant. And then the old yard is just up here, through the gate here. Gate's been replaced over the years. That wasn't too bad when we moved in, but it's since needed replacing. And then we did the grain silo extension, so the grain silo wasn't really very big to start with, but we had that put in and it's kind of coped really over the year, that's okay. And we don't use these buildings much, to be honest with you. They're kind of still in good order, but most of the machinery and everything we keep in the main yard. We still put the combine up in here though, over the winter and everything. And then this is field 51, just up here over the rise. We've just started subsoiling that. Now Dad, when he had his accident last year, he didn't manage to do an awful lot of work during the autumn. So he hasn't put any crops in, winter crops in, so we're going to have to survive on spring crops this year, which will mean we'll have a slightly later harvest, but that is what it is. I had the John Deere out subsoiling yesterday. We've probably done about a third of the field, so we need to finish that off today. The diesel tank's just around here. Yeah, it wasn't working when we bought the farm. Pump had packed up and everything, but that's all still okay now. Still going all right. And one of the other fields that we own is kind of off up in that direction. We've got field 50 and 49 next to us, and then we own 48 that's beyond that, just up the road. And then over the lane here, just on the other side of the hedge up there, we've got field 44 and 43. 43 got cultivated yesterday, 44 still needs doing, but we'll get that done in the next day or so, and then we need to start drilling really, and get these crops in the ground. I'm keen to get them in kind of early, so we're not waiting too long for harvest, but I suspect we'll probably do a few contracts during the summer. I think Dad was quite keen on doing contracts and helping people out locally. He seemed to say it was sort of paid fairly good money, and he's chatted to me the other day and suggesting that we carry on as best as we can and try and help people out. I think there's sort of a part of an expectation that we might do, and like I said, Dad said it's a good boost to the income and everything. So there you go, there's the house, there's the garden, there's the main yard really, and that's pretty much the farm. Not that big. Dad scaled back a little bit on the fields over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, I think. He wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. He knew Joe and I were quite settled down in Sussex at Plumpton Farm, and I'm not sure if he wondered whether we would come back up at this neck of the woods or not, so he scaled down things a little bit as he was getting older. But I have to say, it's nice to be back. It's been a few years really since I've spent a lot of time up here, and yeah, it's nice to be back. Now, I was having a look at the contracts as well coming up. We've still got our fields to do, but with the full tractors that we've got, Ted helping out and everything, that we can normally take on a couple of contracts and get some work done. So I've been having a little look to see what's coming up. All of them cultivating at the moment, which is to be expected really, but field 63, that's coming up soon. Field 34, that's up for contract as well. And there's a few others, not quite such a big value, but I'm sure there's a few of those that we can probably take on and help out some of the local farmers as well. So I'm looking to do some of those. And just having a look at our bit of land. I talked about that when I wandered around the farm, but just to see what we've got here. So there we go. That's field 51, which was the main big field that we got when we bought the farm. Old Man Harper didn't own anything else at that stage, so it was just field 51 that we got. And then over the years, Dad's taken on a few other fields as well. He owned 45 and 46 at one point, but he sold those off. But we've still got 43, 44, and there's 48 up the top there as well. Now I've got my eye on 49 and 50. I'd quite like to buy those fields if possible, because it would give us a nice block of land here. And then there's a big block of land that's over the road as well that it would be nice to get in the future. But I'm not sure. That's a little way off yet before we earn the money to be able to do that. But that's one of the things that we're going to try and do. So I've got to crack on finishing off field 51 and getting that subsoiled, so we can get that drilled, and then we've got to go over the road and cultivate 44 as well, and do field 48, and then we'll see what contracts we can take on board. Right, as you can see, we're out in field 51. It's raining, but hopefully this is going to blow over in about an hour, and then we've got a few hours before it's then going to rain again. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of a dry spot this afternoon, and then it's going to rain later, probably for the rest of the day. So we'll have to see how we get on. But hopefully I can get this field finished. I'm going to take the disc harrows over to field 44. And hopefully we'll get that done, and Joe's going to come out and join me a little bit later, and we might be able to get some cultivating done up in field 48 as well, but we'll have to see. I'm not really sure how long this rain's going to last, but we shall do our best and hopefully get these fields sorted. So I guess you're probably wondering, after we moved into the farm, what I kind of got up to over the last, 12 or 15 years. Well, I was obviously still at school when we moved in. I was only 12, just turned 12 actually in March, when we moved back in the spring of '99. And then I finished up at school, and I went to agricultural college at Harper Adams University College, which is only up the road up in Newport, Shropshire. It's only about 45-50 minute drive from here. So I did a 4-year course in agriculture, which included a year's placement overseas, which I was able to do over in the States at a farm called Wild West, would you believe? So that was between 2007 and 2008. Then I graduated in 2009, and I came and worked the harvest with Dad and through into the autumn and drilling and everything. And then in 2010, I went travelling with a few of my mates from uni. We went over to the Far East and Australia, went to Hong Kong, Singapore, around Malaysia, went to Thailand, and then we went down to Australia and worked a kind of way around the country really. Sydney, Melbourne, went to Adelaide, went up to Ayers Rock, went up to Cairns and did the whole Cape Tribulation thing, and then went over to Perth. So that was a year of fun and adventure. We got back in May 2011, and then we had a college reunion in June, and I met Jo then. I'd known her beforehand in college, but we kind of met again at the union, and it wasn't long after that we kind of started dating. But that was a bit hard because she was living down in Sussex and I was up here in Six Ashes. But one thing led to another anyway, and I ended up moving down to Sussex later that year, and we moved in together, and I started working at her brother Jack's farm. Jack's quite a bit older than Jo, about 10 years older, and I started working at Plumpton Farm in Sussex for him, and pretty much been there kind of ever since then. Now, Joe and I got married in April 2014, and Jack gave us, as a wedding present, a 15% share in Plumpton Farm, which was really good. So that's given us a bit of money over the years, and we've been able to save up and everything, which means that we've been able to bring some money to invest in the farm up here. And then, of course, Dad broke his leg last year, 2019, and then we agreed to come up and look after the farm and take over then. So that's pretty much it. Really, that's what we've been up to over the last few years, and it's been a fairly busy old time of it. But now we're here, I think we'll make a home of it. Right, I finished off field 51 now. Taking the subsoiler back to the yard, and I'm just going to pick up these disc harrows and take these over to field 44 so we can start getting that cultivated. Hopefully that won't take too long. Joe's out shopping at the moment, picking up some bits and pieces for the home and for dinner tonight. But she's going to come and join me later, and I think hopefully she'll take over on the disc harrow so I can take the cultivator up to field 48 and try and get on with that. Yeah, we'll see how we get on, and hopefully we can get these two fields finished before the rain sets in, but I'm a bit doubtful, but we'll see how we go. Right, well, Joe's come and jumped on the disc harrows. She's going to carry on with this afternoon, and I'm going to nip back to the yard, pick up the cultivator with the T6 New Holland, and get off up to field 48 and get on with that. Right, well, Joe and I have swapped tractors again. She'd finished the field down at 44, and but was having a bit of a problem getting the disc harrows to fold up. So she wandered up here. She's taken over on the cultivator, and I went down and sorted the problem out. Managed to get that resolved. I think there was a bit of muck in the oil connector. So I've taken that over the road, and I'm going to run these disc harrows over this subsoiled land. I think that's a little bit rough for drilling, so we're going to disc this, So I'll get around the headlands a couple of times, but I think this rain is getting heavier, so how far we'll go I'm really not sure. Well, I had a little look at the forecast earlier, and I think this rain's pretty much set in for the rest of the day now, and through into the evening and night time. So I suspect that we'll be having to call it a day soon. I managed to get around the headlands a couple of times, but it's getting pretty wet now, so I think we're going to have to call it a day. Managed to just start going a couple of cross strips just to split the field, but I think this is going to be my last little run. We'll have to pack up for the evening. Joe's just called me as well. She's struggling a bit. I think she's getting a lot of pick up on the tyres, so I think she's going to come to a halt as well. So it's back end of the day. We've not done too badly. It's just gone 5, I think. So we've done all right. Almost finished field 48. We've got 44 done. There's due to be a bit of a dry patch tomorrow morning, so we might have to get up early and try and get that done. And then it looks like it's going to rain for the rest of Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday are due to be good. Rain on Saturday, and then Sunday and Monday are going to be better. So hopefully we'll be fine to get the drilling done before the weekend. So I think that's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. If you have, then give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications. And if you'd like to leave a comment, then please do so. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are, take care, and I'll catch you on the farm tomorrow. Bye for now.